Steve Harvey has snapped at a contestant on Family Feud after laughing at a response to a question about baldness. The game show host seemed to take special offense to the man's reaction, as he was bald as well. The survey on a recent episode of Family Feud asked, "Name something you might compare a bald guy's head to." One of the contestants gleefully shouted out his guess, "Pumpkin head." As the crowd roared in laughter, Steve noticed the head of the family laughing as well. The 67-year-old stormed to the front of the table to confront the man, who himself was bald. "The hell you down here laughing at?" Steve sarcastically asked the man. "'Cause of the way you looked at me," he replied, still laughing. "Oh okay," Steve shot back, "because me and you are in the same club, partner." As Steve walked back, he continued to steam over the answer. "I didn't really appreciate the pumpkin head term either, but you down there laughing hard, like you've got a head full of." Online, fans mocked Steve for his reaction. "You can tell Steve's been called that before," one person said on Instagram. "Mr. Steve's face tells it all," a second agreed. "I was gonna say Steve Harvey," a third mocked. This isn't the first time Steve has found himself on the outs with a contestant. He was recently censored after declaring one person's response the worst answer ever given on the game show. Steve asked the contestant, "Name someone you don't mind disrobing in front of." The contestant, Kate, answered right away. "My kids," she said, shrugging. "My kids." Steve laughed and then said, "Hey kids, how y'all doing?" He then pretended to unbutton his shirt. Producers jokingly censored Steve all the way down to his ankles, even though he was still fully clothed. When he was done, Steve turned back to Kate and said, "You're going to put your kids in therapy, I'm telling you." To Steve's shock, her answer was on the board and he said, "I don't know how the hell it was on there, cause I'll tell you, that's the worst answer you could give. Ho 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 ha ha ha." On another episode, Steve could barely contain himself after a contestant gave a lengthy response to a Christmas-themed question. "Name something a man would love to unwrap on Christmas morning," Steve asked the family. The contestant answered quickly in a southern accent, "An all-inclusive paid hunting trip." As she and her family smiled alongside her, Steve leaned away and put his hand up, erupting in laughter. "These are the countryest answers I've ever heard," Steve joked, adding, "Who the hell gets that for Christmas?" While the answer was not on the board, some fans agreed that it was a solid response. The moment was shared on social media, where one person commented, "That was not the first thing I thought of, but shoot ... he might like that too. That's like a huge gift too, lol, hunting is expensive," another noted. "Hey Harvey ... don't knock it till you try it," a second joked.